se lewens en jy is larger than life. Want dit wat jy doen, you practice what you preach. En dit is iets wat baie raar is vandag. It's something that you don't actually find these days, that you practice what you preach. And this is what Aldi does. She truly practices what she preaches. And I think that's what makes a difference. And that's why she's so successful. And I'm proud to call her my friend. And I think all of you are proud to know Aldi. And I'm so proud about today because it's the birth of your book. And I hope that this book will just, like a baby, dit gaan vir ons plesier verskaf vir ons almal. Geboorte. Dis nie cool. Die later van tyd, daai return on investment tipe van ding.
It takes money.
Ons my voor, wag net 'n bietjie. Nou daar's iets wat ek vir julle, ek weet almal sê altyd hulle lê in die bed en dink oor hierdie goed en dan dink hulle wat hulle môre gaan sê, maar ek het dit rarig. En toe lê ek in die bed en julle gaan nie glo nie, dit is genuine wat gebeur het. En gisterand toe dink ek aan hoe ek al die ontmoet het, die eerste keer wat ek met haar begin gesels het en so aan. En ek weet Tannie Renay was daar. Waar is Tannie Renay? Hoe Tannie Renay is reg voor my.
Not in black.
Ja, dis hoekom. Ag, ek moet mos nou. Maar Tannie Renay was daar gewees daai dag. En ons het mekaar daar ontmoet en al die gesê sy skryf 'n boek. En toe het ek nog in die back of my mind gedink, ja, ek is ook besig met my idee en ons almal weet hoe dit gaan. En ek al die sorry, maar jy het klaar gemaak en ek gaan nie. So, jy moet myne maar vir my skryf. En
As jy my sal betaal.
ja, everything comes with a price. Each journey. En op die ou end van die dag wat ek nou sê, and she told me she's writing this book and when the fairytale shatters, and because I've done a few divorces and I know about the shattering of the fairy tale, I read this last night and I've read her book and I want to just read this to you. It's something I read and I thought it's appropriate for today because after I read this book, this is what I was thinking and I told Leilani the same thing today. She had another take on it and that's the nice thing about the book. Dis in Afrikaans. Die tyd het oor my lyf geloop en my nie juist gespaar nie. My moed in die proses gesloop, want mooi is nie meer daar nie. Toe soek ek rond van plek tot plek, verloor amper my sinne, tot ek daar voor die spier ontdek, dalk is die mooi nou binne. En dis eintlik vir my waaroor dit gaan. En dis Lucas Maree wat dit geskryf het, dat ons soek die hele tyd, dis hierdie soeke van perfek wees, en ons het daar gepraat, daai soeke om, we want to be perfect, we want to create the illusion we are perfect, we're not. En in die proses om perfect te wees, maak ons onsself so ongelukkig, en dan, as ons net daai soeke kan kry, van jy verloor jou sinne, you just totally lose your mind. And at the end of the day, there's no need for that because everything is inside. And I think that's what I got from Aldi's book. And you don't have to go through a divorce to understand the book. I think like Leilani said as well, that you will get from the book what you should get from this book. And that's why, thank you Aldi. As I said, to introduce you is an immense task. But everybody here knows you and everybody here I think just wishes you all the best and thank you for doing this and writing this book. My friend Aldi.
So before I start, I just want to set the record straight. We are all a little bit messed up. There's no scientific definition for normal. There's no such thing as normal. And it's okay to be a little bit messed up. But some of us are aware that we are messed up, and some of us are not aware that we are messed up. And in this journey of reading all this book, we may become aware that being messed up is okay. Because there's no definition for normal. Nobody is normal. We're all a little bit messed up. So that's for the record. I want to start with a quote. Our stories are the greatest gift we can give to one another. By sharing our stories, we help others to learn. Aldi is blessing us with this gift today. Sharing a story and giving us permission to spread a story far and wide. If you've read the book, pass it on to a friend. Somebody, somewhere in your circle can benefit from reading about Aldi's life story. When the fairy tale shatters, it's not a book of sensation. It's not an investigative journalist's report. It's not showing how Aldi failed in her life. It's not showing how she made poor decisions. It's just showing how she was a little bit messed up and came round to be aware that it's a little bit messed up. Aldi says in the early pages of the book, this book is about the journey. I want to share what I've learned about myself. And when I asked Aldi, why did you write this book? She said, I want people to learn from my life story. So making it easier for you to understand it's okay to travel on a bumpy road. It's okay not to always have the right car to go on that road. So based on this, I have permission to talk about Aldi's story today. And when you read this book, and when I read the book, I thought to put it into 3 themes to maximize the learning we can get from this book. And the 3 themes are self-concept, self-awareness, and authenticity. Let's start with self-concept. Difficult word, but actually very easy. Self-concept is that picture that you have of yourself. Imagine you are looking at a poster, and on that poster there's a picture of who you truly are. What is that picture reflecting of you? What is your self-concept? So self-concept is who we really think we are, and also what we show the outside world of who we are, plus what others think of us. Self-concept plays a very important part in our wellness. How well we feel, how well we are, is the self-concept we hold so dearly of ourselves. It's also how we express ourselves, how we interact with others. Our self-concept directs how we make decisions. Aldi writes, I had shamed my family. I had acted against my upbringing and the expectations of my community and my church. These were the thoughts she had about herself. This was her self-concept. What is your self-concept? When you read Aldi's book, take a break, pour that glass of wine, go get that cup of tea, make your cappuccino, and think about your self-concept. What is that self-concept that you have? What does that picture look like that you hold of yourself? Aldi also wrote, it took me years to get over my guilt about the choices I have made. The second theme, self-awareness. Self-awareness is a subset of the self-concept. Now, self-awareness is when we start putting the detail into the picture. What are our unique traits? What are our behaviors? What are the things we use to influence our decisions? What are those finer details inside the picture? Now, the self-awareness is not based on your thoughts. You are merely the thinker. Self-awareness is not your emotions. You only feel the energy of your emotions. So you are not your thoughts. You are not your emotions. It's merely an experience. Aldi writes about the beliefs that she had. She said, if I ask for help, I am weak. I need to prove myself right. All the time, I am a failure. She also writes about letting go of that sense of failure, of those beliefs that no longer serves us. Which are those beliefs that do not serve you? Are those beliefs that you are aware of, are they true? Or do you take from outside and let the external world define you? Or does it come from inside? Aldila held onto a lot of false beliefs. False beliefs about what is expected of her. And she felt a failure. And Aldila tells us about letting go of those beliefs, adopting new beliefs, and finding a new life, and finding the self-awareness. Become aware of your beliefs. Become aware how it influences your choices. Become aware of how it allows you to live your life. Powerful message. You are the architect of your own life, your own beliefs, your decisions, your thoughts, and your feelings. And the self-awareness leads to happiness. Letting go of those thoughts and feelings and emotions that are not inside of us, but outside.
I would like a glass of non-alcoholic champagne because I'm going to toast on all my weddings.
Okay, but now
It was very interesting that my banner at the back shows an arrow to the bar where it says, for integrated wellness, turn right. We are going to do this in English for the sake of the Russian.
Only for the Russian.
Only for the Russian. If I had to count the years of all the relationships I see before me, I think I would surpass centuries. Some people sitting here know me since I'm in my mother's womb, and other people have only known me a short time. But time is only an illusion, and every person sitting here has been a part of my life and my journey. And it is very humbling to look at everyone looking back at me and knowing that they love me and I love them. And that is a true miracle. Why did I write this book? Because I have a mentor whose name I will not mention, because he's a shy uncle. But this gentleman told me 7.5 years ago, Aldi, you must write books or you will experience deep sorrow. When you write, you will finally release the sorrow you so deeply carry within you. Just start writing. If you don't write, you'll get a stroke one day because your energy holds it in and holds it in and holds it in like a pressure cooker. And that is what makes your clutch cable snap. My clutch doesn't slip, it snaps. And he said to me, just start writing. Doesn't matter. Get it out. Vomit it out. And when I started, I couldn't stop. Looking back, I think he actually just said it to start keeping me out of trouble. But nonetheless, I do not listen to many, especially men. Don't really listen to men. But there are two uncles here who I tend to listen to quite a lot. And that is the one person I listen to. And today, I'm glad I made the choice to listen to him. Because in writing this book, I truly released the sorrow that I carried for years. And I also met myself. I met myself. If we look at the word shame and how ashamed we are and the shame we carry in ourselves. Shame is only a symptom. It's a symptom. Anger is a symptom. Hatred is a symptom. Resentment is a symptom. Shame is a symptom of something much deeper. And we either shame ourselves or we shame others. And in writing my book, I have had a lot of tests. A lot of tests, a lot of walls and blocks that I came across. And there was one situation where I was confronted with a person I love very much. And this person said to me, "You cannot write this book because what you are going to write about is going to make the people you are mentioning," I'm not going to say it in Afrikaans, hulle kry skaam. Hulle kry skaam oor wat jy gaan sê. Hulle kry skaam oor waaroor jy gaan skryf. They are ashamed. And for a minute, I wanted to choose to believe the lie of my previous belief system. And then I realized I have to write this book. And it was halfway by then, but I realized I had to write it. Because I have to put a light on shame. Why are we ashamed? Why are we ashamed? What are we ashamed for? I'm ashamed because my grandfather committed suicide, or I'm ashamed because my father was an alcoholic, for example, or I'm ashamed because I have 2 marriages and 1 more failed relationship behind my belt. I'm ashamed because I'm not a size 10. I'm ashamed because I'm not an educated person with 3 degrees. Why are you accepting the shame? Why are you choosing to carry the shame of others? Why do you choose to hold on to the shame of your past mistakes? What does that shame do for you? Is it a contribution in your life? Does it serve a purpose? If I am ashamed and you are different than me, I should shame you and make you wrong so that I can feel better about my shame, about my sins, about what I see or perceive as skeletons in my closet. Why? It starts with me. And I'm sorry to burst your bubble this morning, but it only comes down to you. And my biggest wish, dream, fairy tale in my life was that a knight in shining armor would come on his horse. Range Rover would be a better option. But would come on his horse, offer me a gin of Clifford, Morganite, pink diamond, black credit card, blue eyes, blonde hair, 4 poster bed, donkey my lord, 47-year-old internist, children, vasectomy, children with thank you, children in university,
Children know that
and
they come with a
an
price.
ex-wife that is deceased. He must be a 6, 3, 1, 2 at the top. I worked it out. That would be my ultimate fairy tale. A knight in shining armor that will come and rescue me, release me and relieve me from all my problems. How disempowering is that fairy tale? Taking my happiness and putting it in someone else's hands. And I had to learn through this journey that the knight in armor, or the knight in shining armor, is the woman with the frizzy blonde hair that looks at herself in the mirror every morning. I am my knight in shining armor. I am the one responsible for my happiness. I am the one who should rescue myself. I am the one that should create her own fairy tale. And I have the choice and the power to choose a new fairy tale in every moment. So as die internis nou gaan kom en hy breinhare, sal ek dit ook nou maar aanvaar. But we always have the power to choose. And once I grasped the concept of start choosing, or you will forever be losing, my life changed. We all think we are victims. Someone did this to me. Someone does that to me. It's you. It's you. It's you. No one does anything to you that you are not willing to allow. And once you understand that you are the one choosing to stay where you are staying, you are choosing to accept whatever is happening to you. You are the one choosing. Doing nothing about a situation is also a choice. Start choosing, or you will forever be losing. Once you meet yourself, and I call it, in the book, I call it the hidden man of the heart. Once we go and we meet the hidden man of the heart, and we truly look within, that is when healing starts to take place. You know, there was a movie called The Man in the Iron Mask. It's one of my favorite movies, where Leonardo DiCaprio has got the twin brother and they're the two kings. And he then took his brother and they had to put the mask back on at the end of the movie. And he completely, the brother freaked out. And then Leonardo DiCaprio said to his brother, put the mask on him. Wear it until you love it. That's pain, people. Pain is part of life. And when you look at your pain and you wear it until you love it, you stop resisting it. You stop resenting it. You stop hating it. You stop not wanting it. You wear it until you love it. You feel it and you heal it. That's when it starts changing. What is healing? Healing is a daily process of self-awareness where you continuously come and meet yourself over and over and over again. And every person in your life is your friend, your gift, your mirror, especially the ones you hate. They love you the most. Because the people around you are the ones, especially the ones who hurt you, are the ones who help you to wear your pain until you love it. The relationship you have with yourself is the most important relationship you will ever have in life. This relationship that you have here will mirror into the outside world. Every single relationship that you will ever have. If you have a belief system that I am not good enough, it will be mirrored to you in every single relationship you will have. And in awareness, in self-realization, in self-actualization, there is the healing. Healing is not going to the doctor, the healer, the counselor, taking a pill, getting a drip. No, that's all integrative support. True healing is sitting in the vortex of your pain, going to the root, sitting there, feeling it, wearing it until you love it. That is what healing is. That is where true healing starts, in finding and meeting yourself. There are a lot of tools, and one of the reasons why I wrote the book is because I've been taken on these journeys in my life in careers where I was an operational consultant, an operations manager. I always joke and say I used to paint faces, then I painted houses, and everything that I've studied have taught me to integrate and systemize things. And again, one of my mentors taught me in my life that you don't have to live in a box, Aldi. You know, we grow up and we think, I need to go to university, I need to be an accountant, and then I need to do this job for 60 years and be successful. Why? Why do we limit ourselves? If you want to change your career 17 times, do it. There's a lot of young people sitting here today, and you are embarking on the beginning of your life, and there's a lot of fear and a lot of pressure young people experience. I need to decide what career I'm going to be. I need to decide what I'm going to do with my life. I need to be married at 25, have babies at 27, be finished at 29. If that's what you truly want, you can do that. But do you honestly and truly know who you are, and have you met yourself? Because not until you truly know who you are, what it is that you want, what are you standing for in life, can you truly know what to manifest. So in my life, there was a stage where I looked back and said, you are 38, you are leading a career of 12 years, which was very successful. What have you got to show for it? You have no pension, you are starting a business in a minus, in the coronavirus. What are you doing? You are 38 and you have nothing to show. Says who? I had to process through it and say to myself, your life is the sum of everything that you've gone through. And even in the practice today, I use the paint industry knowledge that I've gained. I use everything that I've learned in my life and in my work today. So life is a process of integration. The most important thing is to bring it back and constantly remind yourself, I am the one responsible for my happiness. And not until we make peace with that truth will we ever find true peace and happiness. So in the book, I tell my stories because I like stories. I think I'm the head girl of Fairyland. I think that Milton Boons looks like a joke in comparison to my expectations of romance and love. And stories are the way that I ignite my flame. But in the book, I share my stories, and then I share what I went through in my integration process of tools. And it took me years to bring the two together. So cognitively, I would know that what Tannie Renee said is the truth. She would say, Aldiki, withdraw permission. Withdraw the permission you gave that person to abuse you. Or someone will say to me, you are responsible for your own inner happiness. Or someone would say to me, but you are the one choosing. But not until I kept on searching, I discovered the tools that I talk about in the book. did everything integrate for me? And could I truly find my inner power in every cell and in every level of my life? Does this book mean you are now having a one-way ticket to a fantastic life? I would like to say that, but it will give you the tools to choose. What do you want to do with it? If I buy Demological and it's standing on the shelf and I look at it every morning, good morning Demological, and I don't put it on my face or on my eye area, is my wrinkles gonna go away? Don't give
Going nowhere.
I have to put the word and the deed together. So tools are there to be used. I'm going to sound like my mother. Is this on tape? It's on record. Marriage is hard work. Everything is hard work. Oh, type it. The woman is right. Wellness, happiness, it's hard work. It takes work. It takes daily effort. Do you people think, I'm going to say now what I used to say to my dad when I would pitch up at work 15 minutes, half an hour late every morning, is this the time to get here? And I would say to him, do you think this takes 5 minutes? I would say that every morning. It takes work to be beautiful. It takes work to be fit. Melalani, it takes work. Everything takes work. It's an effort. Now you can choose. You can choose. I'm either going to put effort into using the tools every day, or I'm going to put in effort to be unhappy. Choose. It's your choice. We are all blessed with one thing in this life, and that is called free will. It means that no one else can make you do anything that you don't choose to do. And in this life, it is your birthright to F up your life if you want to, or to make it successful. It's your choice. Your parents can be upset, your friends can be upset, your family can be upset. I'm trying to raise myself. He's 8. I'm raising myself, and I'm trying to teach him tools, but ultimately what that little boy is going to do with his life one day is going to be his choice. And there's going to be a time where the roles between me and him are going to change, and he's going to become an adult. And I'm talking to the parents now. I'm going to have to stand back. I'm going to have to allow him his birthright to choose what he wants to make of his life. Whether he wants to be whoever he chooses to be. I can choose if I'm going to allow him in my life, if I'm going to allow him to respect me or disrespect me. It's my choice. But in me wanting to be a control freak, and yes, I'm professional control freak, but in me wanting to put people in boxes or to force other people to be right like me, and then shaming them or blaming them or being bitter or angry or resentful is not a contribution in my life. If we can all look at one another and respect each other's birthright to choose to do with their lives as they please, to live in allowance of one another, and then also to choose for yourself if you want to live in allowance of that for you. We would have no wars. We would have nothing of the drama and the trauma we are going through today in our life. Start choosing or you will forever be losing. It's only you. It's only you who can decide what you want to do with your life. And it all starts in the journey of bending your knee. I wanted to call this book I Bent My Knee First. That was the original name, because my grannies, my aunts, my whole female lineage has had knee replacements. And going on your knee has got to do with praying or submitting or kneeling or surrendering. And the women of my lineage don't bend their knees for anyone, and hence knee replacements. My son made me vomit over the toilet since I was 10 weeks pregnant with him. So in learning to bend my knee and going with the process, I realized that you should bend your knee within. Your ego, your selfish ways, our ego, our pain body, the part of us that doesn't want to go inside and be vulnerable and open, that part should bend their knee to our higher self, to the vulnerability, to the love. Because there's only ultimately two energies or emotions, and that's fear and love. And again, we choose to be happy. We choose what we do with our life. We choose what perspective or perception we are going to have in this world. So I invite everyone to, as Tanya Renee said, meet yourself. Meet yourself. And the last 12 months of my life have been the best 12 months of my life, but also the most overwhelming 12 months of my life. And when I thought of what I'm going to say about that, I remember my father once telling me, he says, you know, my kind, there were days in my life where things would happen so quickly in business, in life, and the expansion would go great, and I would be overwhelmed, and I would see this wild horse running without those reins, and I would run with this horse, and all I would do is see God's hand and put my hand in God's hand, and we would just run. And that is the most amazing thing that he said, and I only see a lot of profound wisdom of the 40, but that is how I can explain the last 12 months of my life. We have to feel to heal. We have to accept what happened to us. There's nothing we can do about it. We have to surrender to what happened, and we have to choose moving forward what we are going to do with our life. If shame and blame and hatred and resentment was a contribution, the world would have been a completely different place. So it is my true prayer that none of you ever give up on your fairy tale, and that none of you ever stop believing in fairy tales, because fairy tales exist. I'm standing in my fairy tale today. And there are dragons, and there are snakes, and sometimes there's dark roads, and the woods are scary, and there's a bear. But you know what? It's my fairy tale. And no one will ever tell me again that my fairy tale is bullshit. So now we are going to drink. We are going to have a few toasts. I hope everyone has something to toast to. Otherwise, just make like you're toasting. Because when I got married the first time, at the age of 25, I ordered pink grape juice from a wine farm in Cape Town. It was a pink wedding, and I wanted pink grape juice. And on the way to the venue from the Cape, the truck was hijacked. Do you people think it was a sign? I think it was a sign that it was and the pink grape juice was hijacked. So the pink driver's son never arrived for that pink wedding. Okay, so I never got to toast with pink grape juice on my first wedding. At my second wedding, I was too overwhelmed to say anything. So I am not necessarily planning a third wedding, but we're not going to say no thank you, because we know what has been ordered. But today, we are going to toast to my first wedding.
Amen. Good.
Lang sal sy lewe.
Dit is my design.
To my second wedding. Lekker. And then thirdly, please be enthusiastic for this one. You people are not ready. To fairy tales. Thank you.